if you are struggling, get up and help somebody. Because it's in helping that you become energized and revived. Get up and help. Cook a meal for somebody. Take a piece of cake over to somebody's house, or just take a smile. Just smile to somebody next door, and you'll see that your world will brighten up and things will become much, much better for you as you celebrate this beautiful season of the year.
Doctor, you're leaving me blushing over here. I think we're going to have to actually have you on the show more often. You need to have your own show, Doctor.
Like, subscribe, and share to Voices of Linden TV.
Welcome to another edition of the Let's Talk Show. I'm your host, Andrew James, and today I'm pleased to have with us in studio via Zoom, Dr. Yonnette Semple-Dormer. Dr. Semple-Dormer is a former teacher, serves as an occupational therapist, and she's also the president of the Guyana Metropolitan Relief Organization, based in the United States. I'm pleased to welcome in studio Dr. Semple-Dormer.
Thank you so much, Andrew, for having me. Good evening to your audience. It's a pleasure to be here, and I look forward to our time together.
Welcome to the show, Doctor. It's so nice to see you. As always, looking sharp as usual and ready to talk to us. Doctor, for folks watching the show that don't know who you are, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, please?
Sure. Well, I am Yonnette Semple-Dormer, or Yonnette Bob Semple, as you may know me back from Plaisance. I'm a Plaisance girl, born and raised. I have had the pleasure of attending Plaisance Government School and then Bladen Hall Multilateral School. Hello, Mr. Nkofi, and all my teachers who were there before. I have been having such a wonderful time being who I was created to be. And right now I serve as an occupational therapist. I work with children and adults across the spectrum. And I also work as the president of the Guyana Metropolitan Relief Organization. Let me tell you a little bit more about what an occupational therapist does. As an occupational therapist, you help individuals to participate in their occupation. So if you're working with a child, you're helping that young child to learn how to play. If you're working with a school-age child, you're helping that child to learn how to participate in school, do his homework, to write, to cut, to engage with others, to self-feed, to dress, to take in information and make meaning out of it. And if you're working with an individual who is an adult that has been impacted by disease or sickness or injury, then you're helping that person to become engaged in his or her activity, being a wife, an employer, or an employee, whatever position he or she has, and giving them the kind of tools they need to be able to participate. So my experience, my role as an occupational therapist is one that gives me a lot of fulfillment, while being the president of the Guyana Metro, or the Guyana Metropolitan Relief Organization, has given me an opportunity to give back to Guyana and our people in such ways that are fulfilling and rewarding, and where I see so much growth and development.
Nicely said. This is one doctor with many hats. So I guess our interview today is going to take a different approach because you're, affiliated with so many different things. Doctor, can you tell us why is it important for parents to start reading with their children or their child at a young age through your own lens, please?
What a great question. Well, let me start sharing with you from my experience. When my son was born about 18 years ago, we were very intentional about introducing him to books, to reading, to understanding language or text from a book. And, we did that while he was still in the womb, because the research is showing that there are certain brain connections that take place when you read to a child, even in infancy. And those connections would not happen if you just expose the child to language. So it's so important that you give your child the opportunity to be successful by exposing him to reading. The reading that you get from a book or the language that you get from a book is quite different from the language that we hear when we talk. The book language is more descriptive. It's more fascinating, if you want to say that, where it's more sensory, so that you are creating so much richness in terms of language and in terms of opening up opportunities for the child to visit places that he or she would not otherwise be able to visit through books, to understand various cultures and to learn how people live and experience life. So reading is so important. Start reading to your child when he or she is in the womb, and when he or she is born. Spend time in the morning and in the evening reading to your child. We actually separated a time, or set aside a time throughout our day that we call read time. And everybody, mother, dad, everybody dropped everything we were doing and we read. We opened the book and we read quietly to ourselves, or in cases where our child could not read it yet, we read to him.
Very nicely said. Doctor, I'm very proud of you for all the work that you do. And, through my own lens, you continue to inspire generations. And I'm pleased and honored that we're able to preserve some of this and captured it in video for historical purposes, of course. Doctor, you have a fantastic program that you do on Facebook. Can you tell us a little bit about your program and what inspired you to start that program that you have, that initiative?
Right. Thank you for asking. I started the Read Time with Baby program because I had two nephews, who had babies just about a week apart. And because I've had such a rich experience working with my child and teaching him how to read, and my child ended up reading by the time, just before he hit 3 years old, he was reading. And I wanted to give my nephews those same skills and tools so that they can impact their children's lives. So I started that Read Time with Baby session, reading various books from various levels. And I want to interject here that you shouldn't limit the material you read to your child. Of course, there are different developmental milestones that a child will experience, but read everything, anything, just read, so that your child develops that rich vocabulary and the rich experience so that he or she can be successful in life. So I started reading and modeling for my nephews and anybody else who wants to tune in so that they can see how important reading is and what the steps are and what the strategies are that you can use to read to your baby. I want to also share here that, my son started reading and he would read when he should be sleeping. And he was reading so much that by the time he was in 3rd grade, he was reading at 12th grade level. He could understand college material. And I don't want to take the credit for it in the sense that, I am not as a good reader as he is. As a matter of fact, he reads so quickly. He speed reads so quickly. By the time I am getting to the 2nd chapter or the 2nd paragraph, he's like done with that section. And it's because he was exposed so early. So moms and dads, teachers, give your children the opportunity to read every day, inside of school and outside of school, so that they can love reading and they can mature and be able to understand all the concepts that they would have to deal with. Science is all about reading. Social studies is about reading. Even math these days is about reading. So reading is very, very fundamental to being successful in school and in life.
Excellent. Very nicely put, Doctor. For someone watching this video today who wants to reach out to you, do you have your contact information available, and are you willing to share it with others?
Yes, certainly. As you said earlier, Andrew, I am on Facebook. So you can find me, Yonnette Semple-Dormer, on Facebook. I have a private group called Skincare Explosion with Dr. Yonnette. You can find me there as well. Or you can send me an email to Yonneb, YENEB, @yahoo.com if you have any questions regarding reading or regarding child development. I am available to be your sounding board and to provide you with strategies that will be very important and relevant to your present situation.
Excellent. You know, Doctor, a lot of people are subtly having challenges reading. And I applaud you for your efforts that you've launched with Reading with Baby on Facebook. And I want to implore folks watching to check out Dr. Yonnette Semple-Dormer and see the remarkable work that she's doing there. Doctor, as the president of the Guyana Metropolitan Relief Organization, can you tell us a little bit about your organization and what impact you're making, if it's back home in Guyana or locally in the United States? If you can highlight one major project that you've worked on recently, that would be wonderful.
Great. Thank you for asking about that. So the Guyana Metropolitan Relief Organization has a goal of impacting, raising funds to impact the lives of Guyanese in the metropolitan area and in Guyana. And one of the major projects that we have been working on is helping people with diabetes live a better quality of life. As a matter of fact, Guyana is one of the Caribbean countries with the highest incidences of diabetes. Wow. 1 in 6 people in Guyana have diabetes. And, a lot of these individuals are not even aware that they are suffering from this disease, while others just throw caution to the wind and they don't recognize the damage that this disease can cause to their system. So through the Guyana Metropolitan Relief Organization, we have been visiting Guyana for the past 10 years, coming back and forth and bringing opportunities through education, through blood sugar testing, and through different strategies to help individuals understand how to manage the disease. We have gone recently, as recent as in July, to Berbice. We've been to Essequibo. We've been to Bartica. We've been to Good Hope. And then in these community settings, we have met with people in the area and give them the blood sugar testing, give them material. We have done cooking with them so that they can find appropriate meals that they can eat as diabetics. And we have also had incidences where we had to refer people to the emergency room because the blood sugar was so high. But the ultimate experience of this summer was our opportunity to collaborate with Davis Memorial Hospital and open the diabetes clinic there. And the hospital at this time is serving about 60 people who come to the hospital on a regular basis and receive educational training. We're going to move into exercises. We're going to move into cooking and gardening so that individuals have the foods that they need to eat. And then we're going to move into a graduation period after we have given them or equipped them with the materials they need to be able to manage the disease and even to overcome the disease, because, diabetes is really a lifestyle disease and you can get rid of it if you change your lifestyle. So we are very excited about this project. Of course, the project is going to be expensive, so we are always raising funds to keep the project going. And we are looking forward to having a graduation in 6 months and then accept the next group of people, because we actually had to turn away people because there were so many people coming for the care. And this care is free. So we invite you to come and be a part of this experience and increase or improve rather your quality of life, because you only have one life and you should live your best life. That's what we're trying to do.
Doctor, I applaud you for all your efforts that you're doing in Guyana. I was actually startled to hear that you mentioned 1 in 6 Guyanese, if not already, you're suffering from diabetes, be affected by the dreaded disease. Doctor, there's a lot of information out there on diabetes and so on, but bringing it back to our Reading with Baby program, for adults who can't read, how helpful is your pamphlet? How helpful is all these information and all these handouts for someone who has diabetes but can't read? I would say not helpful. So my question to you is, and I'm being presumptuous with my answer, but what are you doing to accommodate folks that are not comfortable with perhaps the language or reading in general?
Great question. Well, we have a couple of strategies that we're using. First, we're using videos, so people are hearing and seeing. Reading is so important to comprehension, to understanding, but our next best way of transmitting the information to people is to have them use their other senses by vision and hearing. So we use videos to share the information. We also use pictures, so people can look at the pictures and know exactly what we are referring to. And then thirdly, we work with people one-on-one. If you're in a situation where you can't read, we work with you. We go through the material so that you understand what it's actually saying, and you can participate in the sessions that we are offering. If you're in a situation where reading is difficult for you, I want you not to feel embarrassed. When you become embarrassed, you stay away. And then you are not able to get the information that is available. So, own it up. Own up where you are. I am a struggling reader, or I do not read, but I want to move forward in life. And then let's work with you through the diabetes program to help you to get the strategies you need so you can have a better quality of life, or even through reading. You can come back with me, going back to my program, to where we are reading the very simple books. When we started working with our son with the reading strategies, we started a book that had one word on each page. The word goes with a picture. Start with that. One side can be the word, the other side is the picture. So if you practice that repeatedly, over and over, you're going to get the words. And some people are not phonetic readers. They are whole word readers. So if you just get the word without sounding it out, at least you'll feel as if you're making some strides toward reading. And practice every day, so you become more comfortable and more confident in your ability.
Doctor, in terms of someone watching this program who's inspired by your work and want to connect with you and possibly make a donation, do you have a website? And if so, how can folks get in touch with you?
Thank you for asking that question. We are so in need of donations, because most of the times, or all of the activities that we do, people take their money out of their pockets. We travel on our own expenses to get to Guyana to contribute to these incentives that we have been doing. So we would love for you to partner with us and contribute. You can contribute through treasurer@guymetro.org. And that is where you would sell the money to treasurer@guymetro.org, or you can contribute through Cash App, which would be $YONRIC. That's our Cash App. Or you can also visit us on our website, which is guymetro.org. We also have a Facebook page. And we are also at this time running a fundraiser on Facebook for Guy Metro, so you can contribute there as well. And we would greatly appreciate it.
And I'm guessing, of course, all the donations will be, obviously, the donors will be given a tax receipt, of course.
Exactly, as Guy Metro is a nonprofit organization.
Very good. What advice would you give to someone that's watching this show today and they can't read?
Yes. If you are struggling with reading, I want you to think of yourself as an individual who can get care or get help to get to where you need to be. You know, people do not end up in situations because they intentionally put themselves there. If you are struggling with reading, it may have been because you weren't instructed the way that you learn so that you can learn how to read appropriate. Maybe you weren't given enough attention. Maybe your wiring of your brain is in such a way that you learn to read at a different pace, right, and in using different strategies from other children. So don't beat down on yourself. Say, hey, this is me. Own up to who you are, and then look for help. There is help in your community. There is help all around you. And I want to encourage you again to start working with books that are simple, that has books that have pictures and words so that you can use them and look back and forth and use the symbols to learn what words mean. And then just let yourself go. Just be kind to yourself and let yourself go so that you can learn what you need to. Even children, and I work with a lot of children with disabilities, even children with disabilities learn how to read. And by that, I mean children who are just learning at a first grade level can still learn how to read, even though they are 15 and 18 years old. So give yourself a chance. You know, you're going to be confronted with things that make you feel inadequate, but don't give up. Stick with it, and you will be successful.
Nicely put. Doctor, we're just punching up against time, but in all your experience working with different people, diverse groups, and so on, what group of people would you say you like working with the most?
Oh, that's a no-brainer question. You know, my favorite group is children. When I first had the opportunity to work with children, because when I started teaching initially, I was teaching at the high school level. And, you know, I connected with the children. They would come and sit with me during lunch, and we'd have such a good time together. But when I started interacting with children at 0 years old and 1 year old, I was like, oh my goodness, how can I impact these children? But over the years, I have come to love working with babies and young children, because you have such a great opportunity to write on their empty slate what they need to know, what they need to learn. And they are so giving and loving that you can't help but want to be with them. So I love working with children from 0 right on to about 18 years old. That's my favorite group. As a matter of fact, I work in my school, my church school, with first to third graders. And then I work in my church school with middle schoolers. So in addition to my everyday work, I also look for other opportunities to help impact the lives of young children, because they give so much. They are so innocent, and you can't help but look back and see the contributions that you have made to their lives.
Awesome stuff. Excellent. Nicely answered there, Doctor. What advice would you give to someone watching it, being a young person, a senior, in between, just like me and you, whatever they are? Could be a working professional as well. Just someone in general that's just struggling, having a hard time.
This is what I would say. Find someone that you can connect with. There is always somebody out there who is willing and ready to hold your hand and guide you through whatever experience you're going through. So find somebody that you can connect with, and then know that you're not alone. There are lots of people who are struggling during this time. It's not something that you have put on yourself. It's just an experience that you're having. So give yourself the chance to just open up and accept love that is all around you, because there are many people who are waiting to help. And then in addition to that, you can hop online and find videos and communities where people are, yes, they're at a distance, but they are lonely, and you can join into those groups so you can be supported. As a matter of fact, Guy Metro is now an international organization. Since we have Zoom, We have meetings, and you can always hop on Zoom and join us and get some good interactions with your Guyanese people wherever they are throughout this world. So know that we are here for you. Connect with us and let's help each other through this experience. Lastly, this is what I'm going to say. If you are struggling, get up and help somebody. Because it's in helping that you become energized and revived. You know, get up and help. Cook a meal for somebody. Take a piece of cake over to somebody's house. Or just take a smile. Just smile to somebody next door. And you'll see that your world will brighten up and things will become much, much better for you as you celebrate this beautiful season of the year.
Doctor, you're leaving me blushing over here. I think we're going to have to actually have you on the show more often. You need to have your own show, Doctor. GuyMetro.org if you want to learn more information about Dr. Yonnette Semple-Dormer and all the amazing stuff she's doing. Doctor, on behalf of everyone at the Let's Talk Show, I want to take this opportunity to thank you very much for being a part of the show, and I look forward to talking to you again in the near future.
Thank you so much for having me, Andrew. It was my pleasure.
Thanks very much. Have a good night.